A huge question that's on a lot of people's minds. What exactly is going to happen with Tesla stock price? I got some critical information for you. I want to talk about that and more. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. And do you know what the God of Thunder's son calls his dad? He calls him Fa Thor. All right, the inspiration for that joke, I actually got a Father's Day shirt a year or two ago that says Fa Thor on it, so I can't totally claim the pun for myself, but I will use it. So thank you to whoever came up with it in the first place. Glad I could tie it into the dad joke. Let's talk about the different things that you're going to see in this video. I'll give a quick update on the markets themselves. I want to give an update on Bitcoin, touch upon Enphase, Nvidia a little bit, really get heavily into Tesla because I know that's probably what you've been waiting for. And then I have a bonus at the end to show you that I think is actually finally getting some attention that is not only needed, but also well-deserved. So I want to toss that in there. So let's get into SPY. We'll see where we're at right now. You can see we have a tiny ascending triangle pattern in here inside a much bigger pattern that's taking place, a much bigger ascending triangle pattern. We've actually broken out above that yesterday, and in the pre-market hours today, we're above that a little bit more. Will we hit this top trend line? We're going to have to watch and see. If you watch my live stream with Stockmo, you will see that I talked about the cup and handle pattern, that we're near the top of that pattern, and also about some bearish divergence that's out there. Now, mind you, that bearish divergence can last for quite a while, years in fact, before we see any sort of major ramifications for it coming out. However, I still think that between now and the election, well, I think now we're actually in pretty good shape for the moment. We'll see if that holds out. But as we get into later August, into September, I think we're going to start to see some worrisome stuff happen in the markets, at least a correction, if nothing else, especially if we just keep on riding upward during that time. The more we go up from here, the more likely it is that we have another 5 to 10% correction coming our way. Moving into the Qs. Qs pretty much the same chart, except for we're butting up against the top trend line. We kissed 500 yesterday. In the pre-market hours, it looks like we might be retesting 500 for QQQ. And it is a good likelihood that we actually pop above that as well. I do have some short hedge positions out there and against QQQ using TQQQ, and that's just against my long positions, because one thing that you can do is, if you want to protect some of the gains that you've made, is you could also hedge a little bit, and that's what I've done with some put options that are out there. This is one place that I did it, was with the Qs. Moving into Bitcoin, we got a very important rejection from the 200 day. I'm not exactly sure when that happened. We look at intraday and see about the time that we crossed over the price. We'll call it 59,000. Whenever we got rejected or went back below there. So 59,000 would happen to be right at above here, and it looks like about midnight we popped up above it and then lost it by the time we got up to about 4 a.m. and that's Eastern Standard Time from where I'm recording, and also market time, I guess you could call it, for the New York Stock Exchange. So as per Bitcoin, another thing that you want to pay attention to is this 20-day moving average that we have, that we got rejected off of before, and it could be an area where we find more rejection there, indicating a further sell from here, and hitting off the 200 and getting rejected there after that retest is also a sign we could possibly sell down further. Now, mind you, if you guys want to know more about crypto, other coins that are out there, I don't necessarily closely follow crypto. I do technical analysis for Bitcoin because that's the big dog, and other cryptos seem to somewhat follow in line with that. But I do have an up-and-coming friend here, Crypto Will, if you want to check him out, the Fresh Prince of Crypto, brand new channel, 525 subscribers, 13 videos. This guy is growing quickly, and he's going to be incredible to listen to. He's a wealth of knowledge and information, and I didn't ask permission ahead of time to share that with people, but I did want to put it out there because I am subscribed to him, and I know in here it doesn't say that I'm subscribed, but that's because I have the incognito mode on it, so I'm not logged in. You can see the sign in up here isn't selected, but I'm one of his subscribers, and I very closely follow his information, and you guys should check him out and see if you think that he's also worth a follow. I think you're going to be very pleased at what you hear on his channel there. Let's get back into the charts here. I'm going to move on to Enphase, because Enphase is breaking up over this trend line, and it's at the bottom of its range. So a few things, intricate details about this, if you will. This green line coming down is the 5-period simple moving average, and if we count candles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're at a low point. This is going to move that the EMA, the 5 EMA upward, And the 13, I think the 13th candle's back here. So as the market opens today, that's going to drop down. So it's going to make it easier for the 13 to cross the 5. It's easier that we break up above those two. And I think that this is something you can see that EMA cross fast over slow and possibly even open and get a full candle above this trend line. I think we could potentially see a reversal coming today, bounce off of this, that in this range bound trade that we start to head back up towards that 200-day, which is around $112 per share. Be watching Enphase. I think that there's some incredible opportunity coming our way with that. Nvidia. Let me collapse that a little bit and reset the chart view so you can see a little bit more what's on here. You can see the ascending triangle pattern that we have and the price target of 140 that I have on here. And in the pre-market hours, we're trying out 134 again, which goes along with this previous little tiny peak that we have here. I think there's a good likelihood that we're able to put in something close to that all-time high. Coming up at the technical suggests 140, which would be just a little bit below where we peaked out in some of the extended hours trading, going all the way back to the 20th of June. So keep your eyes open on Nvidia. All right, the showstopper now for Tesla, the technicals that I have. We'll see what the market does today. I know that you'll see this probably while the market's going on, but this is actually something that's good over probably the next week or so, maybe even last over the next month. And so check this out. So for Tesla, here's what I have to share with all of you. Let me slide that over there and we'll squish this down a little bit so you guys can see it. From our price action yesterday, we hit 265.61 as a high. We closed at 262.33. We have 265 resistance, which not only matches this peak back here, but if we draw a Fibonacci on this, from this peak down to this one here, we actually hit the 78.6 level right about here as well. So it is possible that we do retrace a little bit. I know I've been saying that, but we are deeper into overbought territory. Seldom do we get up above where we're at as of yesterday, which is around 86, 87. We have hit as high as 94 before retracing with Tesla. But the longer this goes on, probably the steeper we're going to correct on a price like this one. Now, mind you, with a Fibonacci extension, it even puts us out at about, there we go. Let's draw it on here real quick. We actually have another Fibonacci, a really important one for us, right at about 266, 270. Let me move that there. And I think this one's actually a little bit high. There we go. That looks better. So that actually puts us at about 265 as well. So we have a lot of confirmatory technicals that would suggest that it's possible that we sell down a little bit with Tesla stock before moving back up again. You'll notice at the top of your screen here, my stock price prediction of $300 per share, and that's as per, well, by August the 8th, I should say. That's assuming that what we get for earnings is received well. I think that that would be the green light that sends us back up to that $300 price tag, which had eluded us when we go back here all the way back to the 19th of July. We actually peaked out at $299.29. So we almost got there, didn't quite get there, and I think that this could be that time that we get there, especially if we get a little bit of rest in between coming off of here. So that rest down to 245, possibly down to 232. We'll see if we get either one of those. If we break up above 265, that green lights us up to 280, just so you guys know. And so we just want to be watchful for that. So if we break strongly up over 265, our volume is holding out for us. That could be that move up to 280 in the near term. I still don't think that we get to 300 as a straight shot. I've been wrong in the past, but still, I don't know that we have that momentum to hold out from here. I think that there's going to be some profit taking that takes place probably within the next week, if not today. I think that we're going to see that very, very soon, especially as we start to see the tops and bottoms of this thing start to expand a little bit more. That volatility is still holding out for us. And you can see, if I expand this a little bit more, you can see on that RSI, overbought status that we had yesterday, peaking out at 87 on the nose. And we're getting deeper into overbought territory. On the weekly chart, we're just about at 70 as per the RSI. And so for that as well, let me see. There we go. Had to have it snap to 69.88 on the weekly RSI. So just barely getting to that overbought, but not quite territory. And if we go out to the monthly chart, here we go. On the monthly chart, you can see we just barely moved up above 50. So for a longer term trend, we are hitting significant bullish trend as per the monthly RSI that we see. Now, what does that mean when you combine it with the weekly and the daily RSIs that are out there? It means that near term, we're probably a little bit overcooked, a little bit overdone, a little bit overbought. However, after a little bit of a sell down, a little bit of a correction to that price, kind of resetting some of that momentum that we see, and some of that profit taking gets out of our way, maybe going back and picking up a few people who wanted a few more shares on the cheap, it sets up our next run as still part of that bullish movement for Tesla. And also keep in mind as you look at these, that overall market bias really is a thing. So if we get some significant sell down in the markets, that's going to drag on all stocks prices. There'll be downward pressure for all of them, Tesla included. And then if we get a significant rally in the markets from here, well, that's the rising tide raising all ships. So we want to pay attention to that as well. So I did mention the bonus. Let me toss that in there for you guys. So by the way, if you want to hear more of what I have to say, see my buys and sells, how I'm playing this market, you do so using the link down in the description for the Patreon. So you can check out that link, join the Discord. My buys and sells are posted over there as I buy things, as I sell things, along with the results. So the receipts go with the cash. So SoFi is one that yesterday I bought as we got down towards this bottom trend line. This is a descending wedge pattern. Notice it's in green, so bullish. Break above this trend line is bullish, so that's this top one here. Break below the bottom trend line is a bearish thing for us. Now, mind you, we have that support right around $6 per share, just under that, and the earnings are on August the 30th. So we'll see if we get that breakout to the upside on this one. We have some nice movement in the pre-market here. We'll see if we continue to the upside or if we get rejected again. All right, guys, so I'm going to let you go for now. And check out that link for the Patreon down in the description. Come on over and join the community. Also, if you learn to do technical analysis like I do and really empower your portfolio through that technical analysis trading, you do so also using another link that's down in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.